Hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin. Well, we saw some excitement triggered by Jerome Powell's speech. You can actually watch on the chart how the speech progressed. It started basically, I think, when he started to speak. It was sort of here. It went down first when he said hello. And then it's suddenly when he talked about whatever, we might get to an end of the rate hike soon, blah, 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 to here, and created some excitement. So what we're doing, we're testing resistance. Actually, we broke above the relevant resistance for wave 2 already, which increases probabilities for a direct breakout to the upside. And we could then say in that case, but it's not confirmed yet, it will only be confirmed if we break above the B wave high. And if we get 5 waves, we don't have 5 waves yet to the upside. We would then have to say that the wave C ended here. Something I discussed in the previous video or in the live stream maybe. Possible, of course, because the A wave ended above the C wave here, which is okay. And we reached the 1-to-1 ratio in the wave C. Yeah, so that means that wave A and wave C had the same length. Wave A and C have the same length. You can see that here the 1-to-1 ratio at 22.7k was reached. We didn't reach the 1.618 extension. That would have been also an ideal target. But I was preferring the 1-2 setup as long as we were holding below 23,660. Now that we've broken above resistance, we are sort of sitting between two scenarios. We can still come down in a wave 3, and that's still possible, especially on a day like that where wave structures get very much extended, and you can see waves going to their extreme targets. So an 88.7% fib retracement here at 23.8k for a wave 2 is not, is nothing too unusual. Not on a day like that, but still from experience I can tell you, and I did say that in the Ethereum video, and I do repeat it from time to time, that a wave 2 that retraces more than the 78.6 retracement, and it's more than just a short wick. So it's been there now several, quarter, 15 minutes, 20 minutes above that level. It increases probabilities of a direct breakout. So what do we need for a direct breakout? First of all, we need to break above 23,970. And what we also need, we need 5 waves, because at the moment I only have 3. Yeah, if it stays at 3 waves, it might still be some kind of a weird extension of the B wave and we come down then. You see all sorts of funny stuff in corrective wave structures. It's going to be interesting. Really the last resort for the bears here is the 23.8k level. That really should hold if we want to maintain this 1-2 setup as probable. At the moment, it's really gone to its extreme. A 1-2 setup really strictly doesn't get invalidated until it retraces 100% of the impulse, of the wave 1. But again, normally they don't hold if they retrace that much. Again, it's all probabilities, right? Certainly worth understanding that due to the breakout above the 78.6 retracement, a direct breakout has become more likely. But again, the other message is as well that on a day like that, you can see all sorts of things happen, and it could just be a bit of a fake out what we're seeing, and we can still come down. And for me at the moment, I attempted a short trade here. At just below resistance, basically. We then came down. You don't actually see it here anymore. Moved quickly the stop into break even. I try to do that whenever I can, especially on a day like that, to take the risk out, but then it pushed even higher, stopped me out. It might be worth, if you want to try it, to restart a short trade, but it's just become too risky from a probability point of view for me, because we've just pushed above resistance. But certainly it means, on the other hand, that the risk is also lower, because you can start the short trade from very, very deep into resistance. So it's really sitting on the fence here, that scenario. If we get rejected here and break down back into the area, and it might be a signal we come down, but the market seems very strong at the moment, short term. So when the setup doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. So we wait for the next setup, isn't it? So at the moment, what do we need for a breakout? As I said, we need to break above the B wave high at 23,970. But also we need 5 waves. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That wave 3 would need to break, or would need to go to the 1.618 extension to really believe it. So that would be 24,046, which means we would have clarity when we get there, because it would be a break above the B wave high and we would reach here the 1.618 extension, right? So you would still have only 3 waves. So ideally, after we reach that 1.618 extension or a little bit higher, we get a wave 4 and a wave 5. Then we can talk about, okay, we have a valid reversal here and we are actually already back in an uptrend, which is still the overall higher level scenario, because the key bullish support, if you remember, is around 20k. So as long as the 20k level holds, we can still focus here on higher for Bitcoin and also for Ethereum for its relevant uptrend, right? As long as these bullish support levels are holding. Just the question is always, how does it unfold in the short term? And Bitcoin did hold 2 long trade setups here. This short trade didn't hold now. But again, it's always a matter of how do you play it, right? Do you try to quickly take the risk out by bringing in the stop loss when it suddenly goes into the desired direction? Then you can take the risk out very quickly, but it needs monitoring. Or do you just leave it and maybe you leave the trade a bit more space? I mean, for example, now a short trade is of course still possible. I would then set the stop loss above the B wave high. However, again, we're getting closer and closer and it doesn't seem to stop. There is no sign of a top in place at the moment, right? So that's sort of the situation we're in. It looks a bit exhausted, but no reversal signal yet. Volume is also declining a bit. So we might get a pullback from the 88.7 FIB. If we push through, it would increase the likelihood massively to also break above the B wave high. So yeah, that's sort of in a nutshell where we are with Bitcoin. No change, however, to the overall scenario, you know. It's still expected at the moment, as long as we're holding the 20k level, to put that wave 5 into the 25k region and maybe even higher. Again, just a quick reminder of the very relevant resistance areas that we are facing, which basically starts here, resistance at 24,250. This is sort of the first high when we got rejected back in July, and then August we got rejected here, bit higher, and it all goes up to 25.2k. So this will be a very, very important resistance area. Okay, and that's my update about Bitcoin. I hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.